Welcome to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Hey, that's me. Hi, and welcome to Positive Talk. Our show features the best positive stories and people from around the globe as we endeavor to answer the universal question of why am I here and what is my purpose? Understanding that can change everything, and knowing your greatness is fundamental to living your best life. So join us right now as together we work to create the adventure of our lifetime. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, do we have a good show for you today. And I got to tell you, I'm so pleased. My friend Rochelle is here. I make her come on these shows, some of them because of she gets to meet some of the most incredible people on the planet. And we have one of those today, don't we?
We do, we do. I'm so excited to have her. We have Solah Nightstar with us today and talking about her work and resilience of life. So thank you for being with us, and how are you doing today?
Thank you for having me, Kevin and Rochelle. I am so excited to be here and to be sharing with everyone. Such
And
an
we're
honor.
so excited to have you here. And by the way, you're living in Vancouver, which is the 51st state. No, forget that. Erase that. It's like you ever do that etch a sketch thing where you go erase, erase, erase. Well, we're erasing that. But
Yes.
it is great to have you here. And I want you to tell us your story. But first, I wanted to read what all the things that you do, and I'll see if I can pronounce this properly. And if I can't, Rochelle will help me out. You're a metaphysician, metaphysician. That's
Physician.
it.
Good job.
And a healer, a artist, and empowerment coach. You're highly passionate about the evolution of the human spirit and the purpose and potential of humankind. I just love the way that you word that. So thank you.
Thank you.
So
Yes.
how did this all be?
It's a journey.
Ain't everything? It is.
Yeah. So I came into this world and started my career path around the age of 19. I looked at all the things I knew myself to love and the things I knew I didn't love. And from that, I deduced that I wanted to become a special effects makeup artist for film and television. I wanted to create kooky characters for children's program that was inspiring. I thought that would be really fun. And so for the next 10 years or so, I felt really dedicated on that path. And then when the age of 28 came up, my values started to shift, as it does for a lot of people around that age. And I no longer wanted to be working in unhealthy environments and putting chemicals on people's skin and being fueled by caffeine and sugar and maybe working on projects that didn't feel aligned. So it was time for me to reassess at that point where I was at and what I wanted to be doing. And I ended up going through a bit of a journey for a few years where I explored a number of different business ideas. And through that process, discovered that I really had a passion for business as a means for social change. And I knew how great it felt for those previous years to be feeling what felt very aligned with my purpose at that time. And when I looked around, I saw a lot of people that didn't realize that they had the power to follow their heart and live their dreams. And I wanted to change that because I believe that when we're all in alignment with our heart and our gifts and our skills and our talents, we're happy and we're doing our work. And just that automatically starts creating a better world for everyone. So at that time, I ended up doing some more schooling and started coaching change makers and light workers for passion and purpose alignment. And it was really great. I also had another little business doing dreadlocks and had this big contract for the circus in Vegas where I'd hired 10 artists and we were making all these hair pieces and life was good. And I had just contributed to a book called Adventures in Manifesting on Passion and Purpose and was being interviewed on a radio interview about that work. And during that time, that's when everything started to change for me. So on the interview, I started getting this weird swirling in my third eye, and I started losing my words. And from then on, I started losing my energy and my ability to work. And I had been living a pretty holistic, natural life. So I immediately thought, okay, well, maybe I need more raw food. Maybe I need to start jumping on my rebounder. I got an infrared sauna. I looked at grounding and protecting myself from EMFs. And I did what I could to take care of whatever it was that was going on. But it turned out that for the next 2 years, I continued to lose my energy and had a really hard time working. And it got to a point where I only had about two good hours of energy a day. And that was really frustrating. And so one day, I didn't know what else to do. And I surrendered my life to God. And I said, I don't know what else to do. You take over. And the next day, my beloved relationship, the man I had been with for 9.5 years and was engaged to and saw as one of the best humans on the planet, was head over heels in love with him. He came home from a road trip and no longer wanted to do life together anymore. And I was completely shocked. And spirit told me, leave, go now. A month later, I was living somewhere else and thought, all right, it's a new start at life after I had grieved through that process pretty hard. And I thought, okay, we'll get started. What do you want? Where are we going, spirit? And that journey ended up going into another 7 years of intense fatigue where I could hardly get off the couch. And every day I prayed to be able to get my energy back so that I could do my work. And finally, so that was 2014 when I left. 2021, it took me over those 7 years, I tried over 60 different things to get better. And finally in 2021, the right modalities showed up and got me back on my feet really quickly. And I now have a pretty big arsenal or toolbox of powerful tools and gifts that I have been enjoying sharing with others to help them get their energy and their focus back.
Well, congratulations on everything, on the journey itself, because the journey itself is an important aspect of the work that you do now, right?
It is. Yeah, it's all for a purpose.
And when you're in the middle of it and you're in the middle of a pile of dog do, which happens to all of us from time to time, I like to call it a bad country music song time. When we have those experiences and we're in the middle, we don't recognize the value that they have for us because we can't see through to the other side and to be through it. And it's only upon reflection when you are on the other side that you can go, oh yeah, that's why that happened that way, and stuff. Rochelle, and what do you think?
I think it's honestly just amazing the way you've just been able to persevere no matter really what you were going through and still have that motivation, even if it was that 0.5% to just do what you could every day and try to push forward and get better. Because I'm guessing you were probably around so many people and they thought, oh, we love Sola. She's the light of the darkness and she brings all the happiness and the joy and the fun into our presence. But when you're on your own time, sometimes it can be hard to be that for yourself as well. And just to get through that, I'm really excited to learn what actually worked for you and try to maybe integrate some of those things into my life as well.
Thank you for all of that. That's really sweet of you.
You're welcome.
Well, so what did you do?
So So I tried so many things. Oh my goodness. So there were, in the very beginning, when I tried those few things that I already mentioned, like rebounding and juicing, and I also did a past life regression and found something in there, cleared that away. And then I went into more fasting, cleansing, special diets. I worked with shamans. I worked with energy healers. I tried acupuncture, osteopathy, sweat lodges. A lot of looking at my thoughts and my beliefs and trying to figure out why I had created this experience for myself, what the lesson was. A lot of reprogramming any negative thoughts that would come in, retraining my thoughts. There were just so many things, so many supplements, tens of thousands of dollars of supplements that didn't seem to do anything. And a lot of rest, laying on the couch day after day. And at first I thought, oh, it's just some adrenal fatigue. We'll take care of it in 3 months. I had heard 3 months to 3 years. We'll take care of it in 3 months. And I did all the things, and 3 months later, still having challenges. So I kept doing all the things, more things, more things. 3 years later, still having challenges. And that just went on and on. And it wasn't until, actually, one thing that really helped me through that process, to my surprise, was crystals.
Ah.
I felt a very, you feel the crystals too, hey, Kevin?
I've been around a lot of people and that have worked with crystals and the energy that comes from them and the good vibes that you can get from great energy or from crystals that can give you great energy. That makes sense.
Yes. It can be, when we're going through these challenges, as you mentioned, everyone has their stuff. It can be a solitary journey. And crystals are like little beings that can keep us company. I had this big, beautiful crystal that slept in my bed with me, and it was reassuring. And then some of them helped give me energy. Some of them helped me relax. And they just felt like really beautiful tools to be working with. Even though they didn't take me all the way to where I wanted to be, they were good little allies to have. So that was one of the first things that helped me. And out of that, I started making crystal and copper jewelry with energetic properties, of course, because I was always putting all the crystals on me and putting them in my bra and strapping them on everywhere, taking them to work with me. I didn't have enough energy to be building my businesses at that time, so I needed to take on some work for other people. And that didn't feel very aligned for me. So that was a little bit of a challenge, but you got to do what you got to do. And so I'd be taking all these crystals with me. And so making the crystal jewelry was quite helpful. So that's one of the things that I do now. And the next thing that really helped me was I actually heard a podcast. There was a lady named Eileen McCusick speaking. She's created a system called biofield tuning. And when I heard her speak, a lot of what she was saying was really resonating with me and the experiences that I had had. So I thought, I want to learn how to do this. I think this is going to be helpful. And so I did her home study course that she had at the time, and I ordered all the tuning forks. And that system is really amazing. So what it's about is all these little hard things, little and big hard things that we've experienced in our life are actually recorded in our auric field, the energy field around our body. The biofield is the scientific name for that. So things like car accidents, divorces, breakups, even being picked on in the school ground, maybe as a little kid, moves are often in there. All sorts of challenges that we've had with our parents, challenges of our ancestors even, are recorded in our auric field as little disharmonious energy pockets. And by using this system, I was able to comb through the auric field with different high-grade tuning forks, and the tuning forks will show us where that disharmonious energy is in our field. And when we put the good frequencies through those disharmonious frequencies, we reharmonize it, and then we sweep that energy into our body and flush it out. And when we've cleared the stuck stuff from our field, it goes on to affect everything else in life, our physical health, how we manifest things. It's basically clearing blockages from our field.
That's a great story. And by the way, we need to take a real quick break. But when we come back from that, for those of you who may be listening to the show for the first time and you're saying tuning forks, vibration, energy, what the hell are you talking about? I'm going to explain when we come back. So stay with us, and we're just going to be gone for 1 minute, and then we'll be right back with Solah Nightstar and Brichelle and moi. We'll be right back. Are you looking for a powerful way to grow your brand while making a real difference? Well, Positive Talk is the perfect platform to align your message with inspiration, hope, and meaningful conversations. By sponsoring Positive Talk, your brand will reach an engaged audience that values positivity and connection. People who want to support companies that share their values. Take this opportunity to showcase your business in a space that uplifts, inspires, and creates lasting impact. Don't wait. Email me, Kevin@kmmedia.pro today to learn how you can partner with us and spread positivity while growing your brand. See, that wasn't bad at all. That was real quick, and it got a good message out. If you want to work with us, you can always email me at Kevin@kmmedia.pro, and we'll go from there. Okay, here's the thing. There are people that don't understand about energy and how it works. And so let me try and explain a little bit. First of all, Einstein, the guy with the wild hair, and that was here. He proved that we are energetic beings, that we are guided by our energy and our vibrational level. And the higher the vibration goes and the energy that we have and emit, the more we are in touch with other beings that are vibrating at the same levels and that kind of thing. And Tesla also proved that as well. So it's a thing. It's not a woo-woo thing at all. It is energy. It is what and people like Brichelle, I know that you are in touch with your energy. Solah is certainly in touch with her energy. And by the way, it is important to recognize, well, as an example, when Solah came on the show, in the very first second, I recognized that she vibrates at a very high level because she's got this wonderful energy, this wonderful way about her, and it glows and it shows. Brichelle is learning to do that and is doing quite well at that as well. So it is amazing to me. And so when you walk into a room and you see somebody and you're drawn to them because of the energy that they have, and maybe it's a smile they have and how they're responding to other people, that is somebody who's vibrating at a higher level. And so it is a thing. We are energetic beings in a physical body. That is scientifically proven now. When I first started this whole thing, it wasn't. Meditation was like, you're going to meditate in that of the day and stuff like that and stuff. But now it's all been proven. And did I provide a decent explanation for energy? So perhaps you can expand on it.
Oh, you sure did. I was just going to say, really well done. Really well done. Everything is energy. Everything. We're made up of energy. Everything around us is energy, and it's always changing. Energy doesn't stay in any one form. It's always changing. So I think that even knowing that can be a helpful thing when we are going through the hard times. It's not going to be that way forever. And the more we can do to stay in that positivity, as you were mentioning, and that high vibration, it can be so hard to get to a high vibration when we're really struggling and when we're in pain and when we're suffering and when life sucks and we're in a crappy environment, But I think it's just so important for us to keep in mind it's temporary. Do your best. Keep going. Keep going. It'll get better.
Rochelle, what do you think of the energy and energy arguments and all of that?
I would just have to agree with both of you. Really, everything that has life has energy, and even things that kind of don't. Even your cell phone, it's always with us. It's always vibrating. It's always doing things, and I mean, everything is signals. And when you are at a certain frequency, I would just say it can be challenging when you're in that lower frequency because maybe some people with a high frequency, you tend to be like, oh, that's a little too much, or they're kind of overwhelming me, or they make me feel bad because I feel like I'm unable to do that right now. And then, following people of the same vibration isn't always bad, as I've learned, because that's when you can kind of find healing in yourself with someone else and get that different perspective. And the next thing you know, your energy is rising. Have you ever experienced anything like that, Sola, where you met somebody at their energy level and then both kind of came up together?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that for most of us, our closest friends are vibrating at a similar frequency to where we are. And
Mm.
it's such a beautiful thing to be able to bring. My friends and I are always sharing new knowledge with each other and new tools and new methods. Hey, I tried this. It worked really well. Hey, look what I'm manifesting with this technique. Ooh, let me try it too. Oh, yeah. And so it's so much fun to help bring each other higher and higher and pick each other up
Mm.
and support each other while we're going through our stuff.
And Rochelle mentioned that everything has energy, and everything does. It can be a rock. It can be anything. Because if you go into the inside of a rock, there's space between the molecules if you go deep enough, and they're moving. Everything's moving all the time, and even a rock.
Yeah.
And if Rochelle, you love to be outside. I know that. And in the Pacific Northwest, where Sola and I both live, we've got these huge trees, evergreen trees. If you walk up to an evergreen tree and you put your hands on the trunk of the tree, you will feel the vibration of life coming from that tree. It is the most awesome thing. So nothing is dead, nothing is inert. Everything has energy, and everything is there. And you are using that in a very positive way to do everything that you're doing, because you've had quite the career, young lady. You know that, don't you?
There's so many fun things to do in life.
And isn't that the essence of why we are here? Is that this is a grand experiment. This is the adventure of a lifetime that we get to have here. And so many people look at it like, it's not such a great adventure, and it's terrible, and I hate life and stuff. But they have the ability to change it, don't they?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. We all have that
Yeah.
ability in every moment. And we can ask for help. We all
Yeah.
need each other to help us get to where we want to be. And we all have spirit teams. We can ask for help. I didn't do any of this by myself. I had so much support from spirit every day, and from friends, and from, goodness, we have the internet. Everything we need to know is there.
And a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that we don't really need to know. That's there too.
Yeah.
That's there too. True.
But I did want to mention, because, and I would really be curious to know, because I've mentioned this many times on the show, that I consider my guides are an integral part of what I do, and the integral part of creation of the show, the longevity of it, and introducing me to great people like Rochelle and to you and stuff. And I've got guides on the other side, and they're planning all of this. And they're including other guides and other people from, as an example, you were brought to us by our guides getting together and saying, I think she would be really good to have on that show. And my guides are saying, can you have her come on my show or on that show, on our show? Because it's their show, it's not mine. And they do all of this because they want to create something great, something greater than ourselves. And I'm just so honored to be part of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so grateful for our guides making a plan together, getting us here.
My guides are like, the way I interpret it is my guides are like sitting around a conference room. And they're looking at the conference room table, and there's a schematic of my life and what's going on and what I said I wanted to do before I even got here, and how I'm leading that to fruition through each experience that I'm having and going. And so they're actually having, and when I was 42, I turned my life over and said, I can't figure it out. You guys figure it out why I'm here. And so therefore, you help me determine what I'm going to do and how it's going to work. And stuff. And so they said, great, we can do that now. And so they've been doing that ever since. And it's just remarkable for me. And I know that you have a similar experience. Purcell's, she's young. She's having that experience now for the first time. It's great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. It is very powerful. And I would say to anybody who hasn't ever felt power from a rock, I highly challenge you to even just like river rocks, they're powerful. They've been water moving, freeing. Like I think water is one of the biggest energy networks that could possibly even exist. And when you're in the presence of yourself in water, it's peaceful. But I was going to ask you, Sola, if you've ever been to a geode bed, because I went a few years ago. Um,
To
it
a
felt
what?
like I had a geode bed. The rocks you crack open, there's crystals on the inside.
I've never heard of such a
No?
thing.
Yes. Okay. So here, if anybody ever comes near Salt Lake City area or Utah, it is also known as area. Um, I think it's Area 52, but it's twice the size of like the original setting of Area 51. And it's it's a breathtaking experience, really. Like it's so hard, but just make sure you're prepared if you go out there. It felt like I had been a part of something else, like I had gone into a completely different space of energy, like in time. So I was like in a different time zone, but still here on Earth. You won't have service. Please take water, food. Don't drive in a little car. It can be really bumpy. It was the scariest, but the most powerful experience I've ever had in my life. And I love that we've been talking about the energy of just the most simple things that are around us every day. Because if you come in my room, you're going to see more plants and sticks and rocks than maybe some people's backyards. So it really is just powerful to realize, because those are not just any rocks. They are tremendously different than just an original thing.
And
Wow.
by the way, if you go in a room, you'll also find spiders. But that's a story for another time.
Yes, they're growing. They're so cute.
That sounds really amazing. I'd love to experience that. A geobed, did you call it?
Geode bed,
Geode bed.
Geode, yeah. And it's for miles and miles and miles. There's just all these rocks and hills of like dirt and sand and different sizes.
Mm.
There's people who actually go out there with like try and dig them up with machinery. It's supposed to be military based. Like everything underneath that ground is actually like a military station. But above that ground, like there's nothing living. There's no plants, there's no bugs, there's no animals. you're driving straight for what feels like an endless amount of time, and then you get there and you disconnect in a way I've never experienced before. You just everything at the ground of your feet is crystals. And I thought that was just a bunch of, like I was curious on it, but I'm like, okay, there's got to be power in so many things, not just crystals. But until I experience that, I will fight against that until the day I die because there's power in it.
So much power. And I
Yes.
I would not doubt that the military knows that too, and, they've put things there because they're
Yep.
tapping into that, and that's where the aliens like to
Yeah.
visit, and
Yeah. And there's one way in, one way out. There's like just be prepared if you go
yeah.
there, but it
And
is
I
amazing and real.
Awesome. I really love that the younger people like yourself, Rochelle, are tuned into this as well. They are
Yeah.
connected more with the earth, more with the planets, more with the crystals, more with their heart. This is the evolution. This is where we're
Hmm.
going. And it is incredibly exciting and inspiring for the future of humanity, knowing that folks
It
like you
really
are
is.
coming in and taking over. I love it.
Well,
Go,
thank
Rochelle.
you so much. Live your life.
Yeah, that is so true. By the way, we are talking with Solah Nightstar, and yes, and we we need to take a break. But before we do, you can go to our website, which is positivelypurposeful.com, and you can find out all about her. She's also a coach, and so you can work with her, and she develops. And when we come back, we're going to talk about your programs and what you do for folks, because even though there are more and more people and young people like Rochelle, there are more and more people that are standing there or sitting there going, why am I really here? And what am I here to do? I don't understand it. And I'm not getting where I think that I want to go. How can I find somebody who can help me get to where I want to go so that I can live the life that I think I deserve? And even if you don't think you deserve it, you really do, because you were born great, and she can help you regather your greatness. We need to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. I haven't misspoken, have I?
You're doing so
No.
perfectly.
Yeah.
I love
You
this.
really are, Kevin. Go star.
What a pro.
Gosh, we'll be right back.
You're listening to Brushwood Media Network, the best in syndicated talk, news, and entertainment shows.
As you go about your daily life, look closer. As you gather with family and friends who love and support you, look closer. There are youth right in your community who don't have the home, warmth, and healing you have. So look closer. Every year across America, a staggering 4.2 million youth are homeless or trafficked. And for 50 years, Covenant House has worked relentlessly to keep them safe and protected. Tonight, 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed. And tomorrow, they will wake up surrounded by love. They get clean clothes, hot meals, medical care, and a safe place to sleep. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In sites across America to help them fulfill the great promise of their lives. So look closer at Covenant House. To help or get help, go to covenanthouse.org.
And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. We've got a great guest for you today. Michelle's here, and Solah Nightstar is here. And before I continue, I have to say this because I had to play that commercial again. And I'm going to play that commercial every time at the bottom of the hour until we no longer have 4 million kids in the United States of America that are going hungry, homeless, or otherwise disadvantaged, because we can do better. And sadly, I had to play it again. Rochelle, it really pisses me off that I had to play that again. But that's, that's what it is. But we can fix it. And I know we can fix it. And Solah, thank you for being here. And I really want you to help somebody, because there's somebody who's listening that is going, I really want to, I really want to have what she has or what she has. How do you help somebody find their way in life so that they can live the life that they're truly destined to live if they say yes to life?
If they say yes to life, that's a good point. That's the first step, you know. If you're willing, and you want the help, it's out there for you. And if you're resonating with anything I've shared today, I would love to help in any way I can. What I'm focused on right now is providing people with tools that make life easier. And there are so many of them, and they bring me so much joy to be using myself every day. And what I've done is set up a tools assessment questionnaire on my website. So people can go there and it'll ask them a number of questions. Maybe, if they feel aligned with their purpose, if they have energy, if they have focus, things like this. And then at the end of doing that questionnaire, you will get to see all the exciting magical tools that can help with so many things. And one of those things is so I had started to talk about the tuning fork healings. That's one of the things that I have been offering for the last few years. And that can be really great for people to clear away the old baggage. Basically, it's this old energy baggage that we are carrying around. And once we clear that, life can feel a lot lighter and easier. And we've all been through stuff. Some people have been through so much stuff. And we may have worked on it mentally. We may have worked on it emotionally, and we may think, oh, that's in the past. I'm over it. We might not even be thinking about it anymore. But there might still be some energetic stuff in our field. And that was the case for me. It wasn't until I started working in my auric field and clearing away that old baggage that more solutions began to appear. So I offer those as group sessions and also as one-on-ones, all as distance energy work. And that can be really fun.
Isn't that really cool that because energy work is universal, that you don't have to be in the same room. You don't have to be in the same county. And you don't even have to be in the same country, although you're going to be in our country soon. So never mind.
Stop.
You don't, because energy can be, and that's why when I had John Edward on the show, he was in New York. I'm in Seattle. The callers were in the Seattle area, and he was able to pick up on their energy and to deal with and to make readings for as a medium. So you can work even the tuning fork you can do remotely, can't you?
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting. Even the creator of this system, she had been doing this modality for a while, and she didn't think it would be possible to do it by distance until she was encouraged to try it. And it turns out people get the same results, which is a lot of the times, I find about 80% of the time, people wake up feeling like they have more energy. And if not, about 20% of the time, people need another day or so to rest and recalibrate. But yeah, energy is not local. Energy, a large part of energy is intention, and frequency carries. And when I put people, I like to do it by video so that they can experience it. I put them right on my treatment table on a Zoom call, and they can experience it, and we can share and talk about what's happening and what's coming up in the field as we're working. And it's always really, really interesting.
Now, you've worked with all kinds of different people. You've also gone into past life regression for yourself. Is that something that you utilize in the work that you do with people as well? Because sometimes we have past lives that are impacting our current life because of energy that we brought forward from that past life. Does that make sense?
That absolutely makes sense. That is such a thing. Um, and that was a major part of
Great.
what was going on for me as well. I mentioned that I had cleared that past life at the beginning. I thought, okay, we're good to go. But some of us have had many, many, many past lives that were traumatic. And it's going to sound weird, but I realized many, many years later that there were a number of past lives and a soul contract that I had where I had said, I am not going down there again on earth and sharing my magic this time because they keep killing me over and over and over again. And I wasn't going to do it. But then apparently somewhere along the line, I changed the plan and here I am. And there was some clearing there that needed to be done. I'm not currently trained as a past life regressionist. I would actually like to add that to my arsenal of tools, and I will be in the future. But that can be a big thing for people as well. And if that's something that people are interested in, I can definitely connect them with the right resources for that.
And even sometimes you can find out for yourself. Now tell me if you think this is accurate. If there's a moment in history or a moment in time or a type of individual who resonates with you today in this life, as an example, I have always been somebody that was interested in the Battle of the Little Bighorn, which is where George Custer was killed in 1876. And I believe that I was there. Do I need to be on medication?
No, this is such a thing. This is such a thing. This is a reality that I'm glad that we're starting to talk about. We've all lived so many different lifetimes, and we come in with this amnesia because it would be too hard to carry around all that information and all that trauma in this lifetime. But when you resonate with something seemingly so random, in your case, this particular moment in time, there is something there. And there are so many stories about kids who come into this lifetime with specific memories and names and locations and details. And when the parents look into it, they find it's all absolutely accurate. And sometimes those kids need to go back to that family that they came from. Maybe they died early and they need to go back and have resolution and say goodbye, or they need to see the place where they were buried. And sometimes these kids are having really bad dreams until they are able to find that resolution. And I actually know, because when I was a kid, I had some pretty strong memories of other lifetimes. So it's a thing. It's a thing, and there's work there to be done.
And sometimes if you have difficulty sleeping, or you have difficult nightmares, for lack of a better term, or dreams, they can be part of that. And Burchelle has an experience with having difficult dreams while she sleeps. And those could be a combination of what happens in a past life. It's like I can still hear. It's amazing to me, but if I concentrate, I can still hear horses and sabers rattling along the trail, and so it's like I'm there. And so apparently I do need medication, but it's but that is, you can help people at least get a grip around that, right?
Yeah, and tune into the right resources to help them through it. And I think just acknowledging that it's a thing. I mean, sounds like you really have one foot in that world right now, Kevin. That's so interesting.
I do. It's amazing. And I've also had past life regressions done where I was an Indian boy, and he was a difficult child, and he was kicked out of the tribe and died when he was 15 or so. And so they're real. Then they are true, and it's just it just amazes me that there's so many people. Oh no, Pat, you're gonna be reincarnated into a cat or something. No, that's not how it works. Dang it.
Right.
So I'll get off my soapbox now. By the way, we're talking because we should be talking about you and your work, and because if people want to, first of all, you're delightful to have on the show, and I want to thank you so much for doing it. And just like a good dream, you're coming back to do it more.
I would absolutely love that. It's such a pleasure to be with both of you. Thank you.
And I need to take a real quick break. It's our last break. It's just a short one, so everybody stay with us. We will be right back after this this really, really, really quick break. So stay right there.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. We've got a great show because we got a couple of keepers right there, over there.
Keepers.
Yeah, exactly. You are wonderfully energetically, and you are very gifted at what you do. You've spent a lot of time learning about a lot of different things. Now, she's pretty fun, isn't she, Rochelle?
Yeah, I'd say so. The knowledge part of it, just I love how many things you've been willing to try and to learn and just keep doing it and to see those results. I could imagine it's been much more rewarding if you were to look back at, you um 10, 15 years ago and have that conversation with her. What would you tell her?
Oh, goodness.
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah, that
I
is a
just
great
thought
question.
about it and I'm like, okay, I have to ask her.
Yeah. It's going to get rough for a minute, but
You're
you've got
fine.
this. Yeah. Fortunately, through my meditations through the whole thing, the one thing I heard over and over and over again was, you've got this. Keep going. You've got this. Keep going. Keep going. And that in itself was hugely helpful. And so I would just tell myself what Spirit was telling me. You've got this, keep going. It's going to get better. And when it does, oh my goodness. When I finally got all my energy back, and I would well up with tears multiple times a day, in joy, just like I feel like myself again. I can do my work again. I can help people again. And now I'm speaking with clients who are also, struggling with energy or focus or alignment, and helping them break through and get aligned with themselves and their purpose and their passion. And it is the most rewarding thing in the world and so much fun. And so it's all worth it, it's all worth it. There's lessons in all of it. And everybody needs to go through some stuff at some point. So
Yeah.
Well, not everything can be puppy dog tails and rainbows. Because
We
we
wish.
learn. Well, the fact of the matter is, we learn more from the negative experiences, in my opinion, than we do from the easy peasy cake of life, easy peasy stuff. Because we have to get through it, and we have to learn it, and sometimes it requires you, as you're going down that road, to lose everybody or everything that is vibrating at a lower vibration than you, because it no longer serves you. And so, while we may look at that as a negative, it's actually a huge positive. Sola, do you agree with that?
that is so true. So true. And we will attract exactly what we need to attract in exactly the right time. And as long as we keep going and keep our our thoughts as positive as we can. It's all happening. It's all moving forward, even when we feel like we're stuck. And you know what else? I really want to go out and cuddle a tree now that you mentioned that.
Cuddling a tree is going to become a thing. It's a really good idea because, you know, when you are, and by the way, if you just go out in nature.
Mm,
Michelle loves nature. She loves all the creatures of nature. I'm a little bit more selective than she is, but um, but it's wonderful. And you know, when you go outside and you look at everything and you stop. This is one thing that we don't do very well. We don't stop and observe. We are so busy doing stuff and going here and doing that and being there and doing that. We don't stop and go, hey, that wind is nice, or that cloud is speaking to me. There I go, needing medication again. But everything is that way, isn't it? And by the way, I would love for you to go on a show called Positive Talk. I think you would do very well on that show.
Yeah.
and here,
You're so funny, Kevin. I had this question that just came to me too, Sola, that have you noticed that as you've worked with people, it's in their healing and when they finally come time to hit that fruition of like, oh my gosh, I can see and feel who I am, to where the little things are bigger and matter more and they're easier to spot when your mind is slowing down rather than when you first started working with them and they had just these huge things that were just super heavy and blocking all those little things they were able to see.
yeah, well, being present, as you've both mentioned, is key.
Mm.
I mean, there only is the now, ultimately. There's the now, and the now, and the now, and the now. And we get wrapped up in trying to create our future and feeling anxious about what's going to be and the unknown. And we have all this heavy baggage, as we talked about, guilt and shame and heartbreak. And when we can really get present with ourselves and connect with a tree or some crystals, the earth, and be in the now, that's where our power is. And that's where the magic happens. And one of the things that I did when I was going through it was I put signs up around my house that said, just choose peace or joy in this moment. It's the only moment that exists. If I couldn't get to joy, I would choose peace, whichever one was most accessible to me. But just being in the now, calming our mind, doing our best to calm our mind and to clear away the garbage is really where we start to move into our power.
And I would love to put that on a t-shirt. I'll even put your name right after it. Kevin, that was a good one. She said, there, choose your power now because that's all you have. Yeah,
Oh, that's
I like that.
awesome. And by the way, just to verify what you're saying, in 2003, I interviewed a gal who was part of Gilda's Club, which is a cancer support group, and she's a 4-time cancer survivor.
Oh, wow.
And I said to her, you know, a 4-time cancer survivor, you have got some insights that a lot of us don't have. Can you give me a little bit of your insight? And she was a down-to-earth lady, and she said, well, you know, if you have one foot in the past and one foot in the future, you're peeing on the present.
Amazing. Sage advice.
She said that right on the radio before the board operator could hit the button to delete that. So it went out everywhere. But it's so true. We need to focus on what today is, because when today's gone and we miss it, then. But the cool thing is, we get to do it again tomorrow, hopefully.
So cool. Yeah.
It really is. By the way, if somebody wants to contact you, how do they do it again?
They can go to my website, positivelypurposeful.com. And if we could put in the show notes a little coupon code, that would be amazing.
We could. And what is that coupon code?
It's Positive Talk 10. And with that, people who are interested in working with me can get a little discount off of some of my products and my services and my offerings. And when you go to my website and do that questionnaire, the tools questionnaire, to find out which tools will be most helpful for you, you'll also be able to book a free 20-minute consultation with me where we can discuss those options and you can get your questions answered.
That is awesome. So Positive Talk 10.
Positive Talk 10.
And thank
I'm
you
gonna
so
go ahead and put that in the comments for anybody watching, and thank you for that opportunity. That is absolutely amazing, and I love the name.
Thank you.
And it is the work that you're doing, and you know this. The work that you're doing is extraordinarily important because
Yeah.
we as a society, we as people, number one, do you know who Neil Donald Walsh is?
Yes. Conversations with God.
Very good. He said in there, we are all one. And when he was talking about we are all one, it's all we are all divine, and the divine and us are one. And I keep trying to tell people, if we live that way, we could change the world overnight. If everybody recognized how valuable each one of us is, but we don't. So you have to work at it. And look at that. Look at Burchelle. She is just hot. That's really good. So we've just got a couple minutes left, and so I would love for you to tell our audience anything that you would like them to know.
I think we've said so much here today. I feel really complete in this. I'll just say that if anyone is struggling or going through a hard time, just know it's temporary. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Center yourself, go hug a tree, go hang out with crystals, do the tools questionnaire and see which tools can help. Connect with good friends. There is help out there for you. Call on your spirit guides. There is so much help and so many resources available to you, and you will move through this. And it's been such a pleasure to share with everyone today. Thank you.
Burchelle, do you have a question for her before we go, or a comment as well?
No, I don't think. I think I'm out of questions now, but just thank you so much for the work you're doing and the impact you're having. I think it is so important for us to all realize that we need each other, and that's okay to ask for help, some guidance, even just somebody to listen to, and to have the courage, even if it feels funky or a little scary to do new things. It really makes you feel different after. So thank you for being here and being a part of a legacy that proves and goes to show how much change we can really adapt and grow into if we allow that.
And likewise, thank you both.
Thank you.
And from somebody that was an actor at one time, and I got to be on stage, and on one scene in Fiddler on the Roof, I was downstage middle, and the curtains were closed, and there were 300 people it was a dinner show, and there were 300 people out there, and they all quieted down, and the lights came down, the music started to play, and then the curtain opens. Today, the curtain is opening for you. Take the opportunity, use it, develop it. See Solah. Go to her website at positivelypurposeful.com. She can be so helpful to you. And thank you. That was a pretty good metaphor. I gotta congratulate myself.
That was really good. Good job, Kevin.
Great job.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Our purpose is to provide everyone with a positive, entertaining, and educational experience. I would love your feedback and comments about the show, including possible topics and great guest suggestions. Please email me at kevin@kmmedia.pro. And remember, be kind to one another because each other's all we've got. That's Kevin at kmmedia.pro.